Good morning, book lovers of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. I am Book Nerd 802, and in this video, I am going to be speaking with you about my seventh day of teaching practice, which was rather a letdown. It was a very discouraging day for me, and I honestly thought that I put a lot of effort into making lessons for this week, but yesterday my examiner showed up again and I am apparently still unsatisfactory. It is a public holiday today, which is why I am taking the liberty to record as much content as possible because I have the work done for the remainder of the week basically, so I can really put my mind at rest. But I really thought I put a lot of effort into this week's lesson plans and I am still unsatisfactory. And why is that? Because apparently I followed the book which I was given and told to teach way too closely without supplementing anything from it. And I also took a lot of time, I also gave the students a lot of time to speak and discuss the exercises, and it should have taken a much shorter time. So those were my two biggest flaws with the lesson, according to my examiner. Then again, I asked the students what they thought of the language lesson, and they told me that they really enjoyed the pair work, all the pair work, all the group work I gave them. Um, this was a speaking and listening lesson, so they had a lot of time to work together because I've been told to give students more time to work together, to speak with each other, to discuss exercises because that makes it more student centered. And I, of course, took this advice into consideration, but it was still apparently not satisfactory. It wasn't entirely a good idea for me to follow the book precisely. Then again, I feel as though I am being beckoned into a tight space because I have to complete the syllabus the teachers I am replacing told me to, and at the same time, the examiners expect me to make every single lesson an activity filled one. And I'm definitely not against the idea of activities. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know that during the summer months I teach foreigners English as well, and the lessons are mostly activity filled, and it's definitely less teacher centered because I am free to teach them whatever I wish and to adapt the book as I please. But when there is a syllabus and a scheme of work I have to follow, this isn't entirely possible because otherwise the other teachers wouldn't be able to catch up and they wouldn't be able to complete everything by the time the exam rolls around. So I am very confused with regard to what I have to do, whether I should use the book, whether I should follow the scheme of work, whether I should adapt everything and make all the lessons fun and ignore what I am meant to teach entirely. I mean, this was a speaking and listening exercise, and the students were on multiple occasions told to share their opinions with each other, then share with the rest of the classroom, and I was very frequently cross-checking, which basically means I was asking other students to tell me what they thought of the other students' opinions who had just replied, and to add on to that in order to be able to speak as much as possible in full sentences and to express themselves very well in English. Now, this, as I was told, and as I agree with, is a very diligent, very well-behaved class. I am very happy to have all the classes I do, to be honest. I mean, all of my students are so respectful and they are willing to learn. And I thought they were enjoying the lesson because they told me they did, which at the end of the day is what matters the most to me. But um, apparently, I was also told that the lesson was not challenging enough for them, and by now I should have gauged their level. Now, mind you, I have been observing this class once a week since September, so in 40 minutes, there is only so much you can learn about the students. You can learn about the lessons, of course, and the way they're taught, but the students themselves, it is very difficult to learn what they are like from the back of the class, even from the front of the class, really. It wouldn't really make much of a difference. The other two classes I had never yet observed before I started teaching them, so they're completely new to me. And it's still my second week of teaching them, but apparently I was meant to know that their level is much higher than it is, and I have to go out of my way to make the lessons much more challenging, more difficult for them, to throw them in at the deep end, so to speak. And I follow the book because it's meant to be their level, right? And the classroom is a mixed ability one, which means that there are students who find difficulty with understanding the language and others who will, of course, excel at it. I'm not sure if the examiner took this into account, but the book is straightforward enough for everybody in class to be able to follow. And of course, depending on your level, since this was a speaking and listening lesson, you would be able to express yourself better depending on your level. There was also a listening exercise. I played the audio file twice. They were meant to listen to continuous speech, which basically means uninterrupted speech. And the examiner told that the continuous had something to do with the tenses, which I definitely did not speak about in my lesson plan. And I was also told that my aims didn't match the procedure of the exercises, which means that the aims were not achieved during the lesson because they were too difficult when compared to the exercises from the book. Those were mainly the criticisms I was given yesterday, and honestly, that spoiled the rest of my day because, granted, I'm not a person to usually put effort into things which I don't particularly care about, and I do take the path of least resistance. But with this week, since I failed last week, I made sure to heed all the advice I was given and improve upon the mistakes I made. I mean, I am mature enough to admit when I'm not putting in the work I know is necessary, but when I do put in the work and when I am still given the same result, it tends to be very discouraging because I start to wonder, am I really that much of a horrible teacher? Am I a horrible person? Don't I know what I am doing? Do the examiners even care about the practical aspects of a lesson since they haven't been in a school for 30 years, basically? Some of them a bit more even, or slightly less, but yeah, around that range. Did they even take these aspects into consideration? I mean, I know that I am not perfect, of course, I am still learning. I am still a teacher in practice. I am willing to take on the advice and to improve, but at the same time, when I do make improvements and they are not acknowledged and I still fail an exam, that tends to be very disheartening. And I hope that this does not repeat itself because I fear I might have to change the course I am following and pursue something different entirely. What I am eyeing on at the moment is probably something having to do with drama or theater. Um, but of course, I do want to graduate from this course because I tend to finish what I begin unless things are going absolutely horribly. Teaching is something that I am very passionate about, as you would know from watching my videos. You do understand how much I like to chat with people, to teach people new things, to let you know about myself. I reply to all comments. You know as well um, how well I can teach and express myself and listen to others through the live streams I sometimes organize on the channel as well. So if that isn't evidence enough, I don't know what is, but I really did start to doubt myself after yesterday. I was encouraged by teachers I spoke to and my mentor as well, and my parents and my friends, and told not to give up, which honestly did better my day marginally, but at the same time, I'm not completely understanding how I am doing things so horribly to an extent where I fail. I'm not expecting to get a highly satisfactory result straight away, but to see some progress once in a while, that would be very encouraging, and I feel as though it would really help me move on, especially when I am expected to write about 10,000 words every single week for 5 weeks without pause, and to sometimes even prepare my own PowerPoint presentations and worksheets and go out of my way to buy resources for the students. So yeah, I really hope that during the next visit, the examiners do take all this effort I'm putting in into account. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf, trying to stay optimistic, but I think another fail um, would be the last straw, really. So what's even worse is that my students really love my attitude. I've been told that I have a pleasant manner of speaking and good rapport with the students. So As long as that is fine, I don't see how people can consider you not being a good teacher. It's very very confusing. Yes, I was going to say the F word there, but I stopped myself from doing so. Well, anyway, that is all I had to say for teaching practice day 7. And yeah, one more thing. I taught this lesson in the morning as well, and I feel as though it went quite well. Um, my mentor has been visiting some of my lessons as well, and she's been giving me very, very positive feedback and, of course, tips on how to improve as well. But if I was on thin ice, I am on even thinner ice now, and I am frankly worried about how this is going to pan out. I have another 3.5 weeks to go, and I can only cross my fingers and hope for the best. I'll give you another update tomorrow or on Friday. Depending on how those days go, the examiners can show up at any time. Feels as though I'm playing a Five Nights at Freddy's game where I consistently have to look out for the animatronics and feel on edge and anxious all the time. But yeah, I mean, my literature lesson with the grade 9s about the night mail went quite well yesterday, save for some technological difficulties, and they seemed to enjoy it as well. I mean, they didn't really have any complaints. Um, but yeah, I think that is all I had to say for my 7th day of teaching practice. It really hasn't been easy. I'm very happy that it's a public holiday today because I finally have some time to catch up and rest and complete all that is expected of me and be fully prepared for my 3rd week because that is definitely going to be my most challenging one. I will of course keep you posted. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and if you like these updates, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Take a look at the rest of my content because why not? It is absolutely amazing in my opinion, of course, because I am still doubting myself about everything now. It's almost as though I have to reevaluate everything I thought I knew about myself. But yeah, take a look at the rest of my content because I think, in my very humble opinion, as far as I know to my knowledge, it's absolutely amazing, and I do put a lot of work into this. This channel is basically what I want to be. Um, in the future, in the next coming years, I want to be a full-fledged YouTuber. So yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.